What's going on, everybody? BrickBuilder here, and welcome back to some Hypixel Skywars. And today we are playing some Skywars while talking about the new movie called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I gotta say I absolutely love the movie. I thought that it was equal to the first movie, which I feel is pretty impressive for a sequel to actually be equal to the first movie. I feel like that's a pretty big accomplishment, being as most movies fail to do that when they get a second. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was great. I mean, if you guys checked out my Twitter, you already know what my viewpoint on this was. Because, I mean, I had so many of the Guardians of the Galaxy tweets. Like, I was making quality memes up on the Twitters. But that is linked down below if you're interested in checking it out. But regardless, let's dive right into what I thought about the movie. I'm not going to say any, like, huge spoilers that might actually ruin your movie experience. So, don't worry, guys. You can make sure to watch the video and all will be good and all will be cool. What I got to say, for starters, Baby Groot, great addition. I feel like great comedic relief. He had so many funny scenes, which is just amazing. The fact how James Gunn really got the writing nailed on him, which was so important. Because there were so many easy ways for them to screw up on him. But they did screw up once, and I was honestly pretty happy with the way that it was portrayed. So that's definitely awesome. Because things like that don't always work out, you know? It doesn't always go according to plan. And also, we just gotta take this guy out right now. Let's take him out. There we go. Very quick and easy. Now, besides giving Baby Groot some actual good comedy, they gave all the characters great comedy. Like, for instance, Drax has some really, really funny lines. Like, I gotta be honest, there were some really creative and really hilarious lines for him, which you gotta love. Overall, the characters were great. The storyline was just fantastic. I gotta say, I think they really did Ego justice, which, I mean, hopefully you guys knew Ego was, like, the person in there from, like, the trailers and stuff. But that was definitely a great thing that was done right and done well, which was awesome. So I'm very proud of the fact that it actually turned out the way that it did. I think the movie is very successful, and it will do very successful, I guess, financially as well. Also, the editing was phenomenal on it. Now, me being like a film, like, I don't know, content creator, I'm very into editing and looking into that sort of thing. I'm the type of guy who will notice the editing, the camera angles, that sort of thing. I'll notice that, and I gotta say, all that stuff was really well done. I think in comparison to the first one, like, the game was really stepped up, you know? Like, the intro, like, area where, like, they were kind of, like, announcing all the different characters was done well. It was, like, when they were, like, showing off locations, they did it a lot better than some other movies did, which you gotta give credit there. Because, you know, if you can make something as boring as saying where you are interesting, that's awesome, basically. So I gotta say, I like that. Very good. I think they're letting James Gunn kind of take a bit more of a creative head than they did on the first one. Like, that's definitely great, because, I mean, James Gunn, great filmmaker, definitely very, like, knowledgeable in his craft, I guess, which, I mean, is generally pretty important. It generally does happen, you know? I mean, Marvel's pretty good at, you know, knowing who's gonna do something right, you know, sort of thing. And I can tell you, James Gunn, I don't think has ever done it wrong, let's be honest. I mean, they're very good, both Guardians of the Galaxy. That's awesome. Stan Lee's cameo, hilarious. And honestly, I'm not even sure what to think of it, to be honest. Because it's a really big thing. Like, that could, like, his cameo could honestly reveal what his part in the whole, like, does his cameos actually have a purpose sort of thing? Or are they only there for comedy? Because honestly, we're not really sure at this point. Like, Marvel hasn't really said anything about them. So, you're not really sure what to think. But, now with, like, this cutscene, there's reasons to believe that. Also, you gotta love how every single Marvel movie now gets more than one end credit scene. Now we're, like, we moved on from one end credit scene to, what are we at now? 5? I'm pretty sure there was, like, 5 end credit scenes. Which, you know what, I'm completely okay with that. I actually really support the concept of end credit scenes, only because, besides them just being flat out awesome, if you can captivate the audience enough that they will go through the giant list of everybody who watched just to see it, I think that's well worth it. And also, it just gives credit to all the people, unless people actually, you know who made the movie, in my opinion. Because, like, you know, generally people disregard those people who put a lot of work into the movie, and I think that's kind of not fair. But that's awesome. There's some very amazing end credit scenes, which you gotta love. I mean, they were just fantastic end credit scenes. Like, I don't think there was one end credit scene that wasn't funny or wasn't there for, like, major plot stuff. Now, if you're still watching, you're gonna want to dip at this point if you don't want any spoilers, being as I am gonna be revealing something that I think is like a future theory, but it kind of is based off movie evidence. So make sure to leave if you don't want anything spoiled there. I mean, it's not like a huge spoiler, more of like a fan theory, but regardless, I'm still going to share it, and let's try not to die. But basically, so what happens is at one point, you know, Adam Warlock is revealed where they say Adam. And for everybody who knows who Adam Warlock is basically a guy who ends up taking on Thanos and ends up winning. He's the only guy who can end up winning, and also he's generally the guy who has the Soul Stone, which Thanos ends up taking from him using manipulation, but then Adam Warlock ends up getting it back since he's like more capable of wielding it to like its full potential sort of thing. Obviously, Adam Warlock being in the movie is absolutely insane to think about. Like, I'm so glad that he's in there. That's definitely like phenomenal. But my theory is that ultimately when Vision first came in the movie, I thought, oh well, Vision, since he already has a stone, is going to end up replacing Adam Warlock's part. But I don't think that's true anymore. And the reason why I think this is, Adam Warlock in the comic books is frequently portrayed as an anti-hero. So basically what that means is that he's not a hero, but he's not a villain. He's kind of like Deadpool in a sense, or Iron Man, since they sort of have, like, in some depictions, other, I guess, ulterior motives besides just being a hero. So, for instance, Adam Warlock is offered, like, a spot in, like, the new galaxy. At, like, I don't know, like, I guess, like, at the chair next to Mistress Death and Thanos in the comics, basically. So what happens is, I'm predicting what's going to happen is that Adam Warlock is going to be responsible for actually uniting all of these stones, like giving them to Thanos and putting them together, and I feel like Adam Warlock could possibly be responsible for recruiting Loki and whatnot. Now, obviously, I don't know if this is actually going to be the plot or anything like that, because, I mean, you know, I don't work at Marvel, which, by the way, Marvel, if you want to hit me up, I mean, I'm down for it. No, but seriously, honestly, I feel like this is quite possible, although Marvel probably has a better idea at this point. Marvel usually has better ideas than the fan theories anyway, but I definitely think this is a great concept, and I want to know what you guys think. Like, what are your fan theories and stuff on Adam Warlock, or just kind of Infinity War in general, since, I mean, I'm psyched for it already, and we got years before it comes out. And are you kidding me? We're in the void. Come on now. Knockback. It's insane. That's going to wrap up today's Hypixel Skywars, where I talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, as well as check out my Twitter and Discord link down below. But I will see you when you get another Skywars video. Thanks for watching. Bye!